Welcome to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody talking. My name is Venu Subramanium, and I'll be a host for this edition of Toastmaster Time. Just as in a regular Toastmaster meeting, we will have prepared speeches, followed by evaluations. And for that, we have our own evaluator, Karen Owoc. Karen, welcome. Can you give us a preview of what's in store for us today?
Well, thanks, Venu. We have a real interesting show tonight. We have a common theme, and that's persuasion. And we have a guest speaker who's going to be speaking from the Competent Communicator Manual on how to persuade with power. And then our other guest is going to be speaking from the Advanced Manual and will be teaching us how to persuade and inspire as well. So it'll be a real interesting show and contrasting and comparing the two.
Thank you, Karen. Looks like it's going to be a really great show. Thank you very much. So we'll be talking later in the show. Meanwhile, it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Nicole Tran. Welcome to the show, Nicole.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Wonderful. I heard that you are from a couple of clubs here locally. What's your home club?
My home club is San Pedro Square in San Jose, and my other club is Chamber Charters in Pleasanton. It's a very fun club.
Chamber Charters, yeah, it sounds funny too. Very good. And how long have you been with Toastmasters?
I've been with Toastmasters for 2 years and a half.
Oh, 2.5. That's very nice. That's right. And what drew you to Toastmasters? What are the interesting things you find in Toastmasters?
I love Toastmasters. The most enjoyable experience for me is to participate in humorous speech contests and to visit numerous other clubs in the Bay Area.
Wonderful. I can identify with humorous speeches. I love humorous speeches too. Thank you. So, well, Nicole, are you ready to give your first speech?
Yes.
Wonderful. So just stay there for a moment, and I'll talk to them about manual speech while you get settled. All right? A manual speech is a speech. It's crafted for a specific set of objectives, be it hand gestures or vocal variety or persuasion. For instance, today's speeches are about persuasion. So each of these speeches cater to one aspect of speech development. And we do also have evaluators who will give specifics on how to improve on your speeches. And even for Toastmaster Time, we have our own evaluator. Welcome back to the show, Karen.
Thank you.
And what are you going to be looking for in Nicole's speech this evening?
Well, Nicole will be speaking from an advanced manual, and that's the Speeches by Management, which is geared for business speeches, business talks.
Right.
She'll be speaking from project number 3, which is Persuade and Inspire. So her objectives are to persuade and inspire, as well as persuade the audience to agree with her proposal.
Wonderful. Let's see how much she can persuade us at the end of I'll be talking to you at the end of this speech for your evaluation. So let me introduce Nicole once again. Our first speaker is Nicole Tran, and her topic is Toastmasters and Me. Toastmasters and Me, Nicole Tran.
Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to tell you a speech that I prepared and I would like to share with you. This is me. Exactly 2.5 years ago. That's the moment when I was giving my first speech at my home club. I was speaking in front of the crowd with fear, nervousness, and lack of confidence. But look at me now, 2.5 years later, after I participated in numerous humorous speech contests, courageously participated in many table topics, and regularly attended to all of the meetings. I now become a better speaker. I am very articulate and confident. Therefore, most important aspect of the Toastmaster has taught me. The very first one is to gain confidence. The second one is to broaden my general knowledge about different subjects, different point of view, social values, and cultural beliefs. The very third one is to build a great networking with a different circle of friends. And the most important one is to develop my great English communication skills. First of all, I would like to share with you, the Toastmaster has taught me how to gain my confidence. After I participated in many table topics, rigorously seriously prepare all of my presentations and actually participated in numerous humorous speech contests. I have developed my great ability of speaking in front of the crowd with great preparation and motivation. Secondly, Toastmasters have taught me how to broaden my general knowledge about philosophy, art, history, sport, entertainment, technology, because each Toastmaster member fellows love to share their different ideas about their cultural beliefs and social values. And each of them can be teachers, professors, counselors, marketing people, engineers, artists, business consultants, and I have learned from each of them about the beauty of life. Third one, Toastmaster has really taught me how to broaden my great networking. Let me tell you, after I joined my first home club, I started visiting other Toastmaster clubs in the Bay Area and developed a great friendship with many fellow Toastmaster members. Some fellow Toastmaster members are truly kind, sincere, and very helpful to me. And some of them can be a very great asset to help me with my professional growth and personal development. The fourth things, and the most important one that Toastmaster has taught me, I have tremendously improved my English communication skills. Each week, I learn new English vocabulary that I'm able to use them daily, at my daily. By listening to native speakers, I have learned to enunciate, articulate, express myself more clearly, and listen more attentively. Many of my friends who know me very well, they were truly impressed with my great improvement of English communication skills in the past 2 years. To tell you, Toastmaster is really, truly motivating and encouraging for me. I am a living example of a true dedicated Toastmaster who enjoy many benefits from the program. I strongly encourage each of you to maximize the true benefits of becoming dedicated Toastmaster members like me. Why? Because they are grateful benefits that I have gained. Gaining confidence. Second, broaden my general knowledge about different subjects of life. Third, building great networking with other fellow Toastmaster members. And the last and important one, either to improve tremendously my English communication skills.
Thank you, Nicole. So, Karen, what do you think of Nicole's speech this evening?
Well, Nicole, the first thing she needed to go through is how to persuading the audience, and then moving into inspiring them. Two different skill sets.
Right.
So as far as persuasion, I like the way she opened as far as trying to identify with the audience. I mean, as a Toastmaster, who hasn't felt the jitters of being at their first meeting and going through the table topics and all that? And I like the way she went through and detailed what she gained. Because impressions count when you're trying to persuade the audience, and her opinion. She was sharing her experience and her opinions, saying that she learned how to gain confidence through Toastmasters, how to broaden her knowledge, and explained how she learned about art and history, sport, technology, just based on all the people that she's met and talked to at Toastmasters.
Right.
She also talked about how Toastmasters is a great networking experience.
So you can think of one thing that will help Nicole do better. Can you think of anything that she can do better? Any areas?
Well, in that particular speech, I think instead of saying, hello, everyone, today I'll be talking about, she should just go right into it. I think it'll be more impactful when she did it that way.
Interesting. So I can identify with many things what Nicole said also. I mean, I can also remember the first few meetings, I had this jitters, what you call butterflies, and you have to break those things through your table topics and your regular speeches. After all, we have friendly members around you trying to help you.
All supportive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something which she really stressed. And I like the way she started off saying, look at me now compared to 2 years ago, and I have improved. And that is more like a testimony to how Toastmasters have helped her to move forward with her speech development. Right. I really like that, the way she began the speech. Were you inspired enough?
Yes, I'm inspired to go back and give another speech.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you for your comments, Karen. I look forward to talking to you when the second speaker comes in. But for now, we need to take a very short break. You're watching Toastmasters Time, and we'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.
Name an effective political leader in history who couldn't speak well.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
There aren't any.
Because when it comes to a disease,
Freedom requires leadership, and leadership requires oratory. You have to speak to be heard.
I have a dream.
It's all about personal growth and guts.
Never give in. Never, never, never.
Welcome back to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody talking. After our first speech, our next speaker is Justin Mendez. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So where are you visiting from? Which Toastmasters club?
Toastmasters Leadership Club in Oakland.
Oh, okay.
We meet at the East Bay Mud building on 12th Street. It's
in Oakland. Okay. And how long have you been with Toastmasters?
About a year.
About a year.
I started at the beginning of 2013.
Oh, interesting. So, and based on number of speeches have you given, have you seen your benefits, and what exactly are the things which you like about Toastmasters in this 1 year?
The major benefit for me personally has been my listening skills. Being able to really take in information, process it quickly, and feed it back. I think for me that's been the major benefit.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, well, Justin, are you ready to give your speech?
Very much so.
I'll give you a couple of minutes for you to get settled and organized. In the meantime, I'll talk to the audience about the Toastmasters International. The main aim of the Toastmasters International is just one main thing is, what does it take to get rid of your fears of public speaking? You can be a seasoned speaker, but anytime you face an audience which you're not familiar with, you have this fear lurking in you. Toastmasters is very helpful in getting rid of that fear of public speaking. You're with friendly members, and we also have evaluation. And for this show, we have our own evaluator, Karen Owoc. Welcome to the show once again.
Sure. And
what exactly are we looking for in Justin's speech today?
Well, Justin will be speaking from the basic manual, the Competent Communicator Manual. He'll be speaking from project number 9, the 9th, which is the second to the last project. So we're really getting into the more experienced speaking skills. His particular project is called Persuade with Power, and his objectives are to persuade the listeners to adopt his viewpoint, appeal to the audience's interests, and then use logic and emotion to support his position.
Wonderful. So let's see whether we can get inspired. Once again, thank you, Karen. We look forward to comments at the end of the speech. And let me introduce our second speaker. Our second speaker is Justin Mendez, and his topic is mental breakfast. Mental breakfast, Justin Mendez.
If your childhood was anything like mine, you were taught that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. And not just because we all love short stacks and fresh squeezed orange juice. No, the reason breakfast is so highly regarded is because it's the first thing we put into our bodies before going out to greet the world. I bet you want to have sustainable energy. I bet you want to feel like you're at the top of your game. And I bet you believe you can achieve this by putting the right foods into your body. And I agree. I love breakfast just as much as the next guy. Fresh smoothies, sourdough toast, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, the way maple syrup pumping through your veins makes you feel like a superhero. But despite the loving relationship between myself and my waffle iron, I recently discovered that something was missing from my morning routine. There was some key element that could provide me with the drive and energy necessary to conquer the world in the best way possible. You see, what we feed our stomachs is important, but what we feed our minds is paramount, second to none, crucial for happiness and success. And yet, somehow it seems we often overlook its significance, not giving it a first thought or a second thought. One reason for this, I believe, is that most of us were never taught what to put in and what not to put in to our minds. We all know that donuts and sugary cereals are not going to provide us with the energy and nutrients we need. And although we still may eat them, we at least recognize that we're setting ourselves up for failure. We're aware of our actions and the consequences that follow them. When it comes to our mental breakfast, however, most of us are less aware of what to intake and what to avoid. We were never taught which ingredients to cook with, or the effects certain ingredients can have on our lives. So we gorge on mental junk food. We do things like watching and reading the news, allowing its drama and negativity to seep into our consciousness under the guise of beneficial and even necessary information. And just like every other habit, the individual actions of how we start our day eventually blend into the greater picture that is our life, making it that much more difficult to isolate them as potential contributing factors to the way we feel from day to day. Our lives are nothing more than a compilation of days. There is no such thing as an overnight failure, nor is there such a thing as an overnight success. Wherever we are in life, with very little exception, can be attributed to the actions we've repeated day after day. And as days add up to weeks, and weeks add up to months, and months add up to years, so do our daily disciplines add and multiply and compound until we reap the bountiful harvest of our habits. Once we become aware of the concept of a mental breakfast, it becomes easy to treat the activities involved in our morning routine with the reverence they deserve. A new day dawns and we see that just as the explosion of citrus helps to awaken the body, so do motivational and inspirational insights awaken our passion for living and set the tone for us to have an extraordinary day. And we begin to see and feel a shift within ourselves. The morning light seems a little brighter. The sun feels a little warmer. And some of us may even start smiling on our BART ride to work. Wouldn't that be something? Our parents and grandparents taught us how important it is to start our day with a nutritious and well-rounded meal. Now it's up to us to approach what we put into our minds with the same careful consideration and high regard, and to start our day with thoughts and images that give us what we need to start each day with the confidence to make it better than each that came before it.
Thank you, Justin. That was great. So Karen, what do you think of Justin's speech
That
tonight?
was a very fun speech.
Yes, it was.
And being in the health field, I'm so inclined to start thinking about breakfast and some of these good foods. He started out really identifying with the audience, again, like the other speaker. You have to grab the audience by, so he talked about breakfast, and he used some very descriptive words, which I really liked. Some really good images: fresh smoothies, sourdough toast, melt in your mouth pancakes, maple syrup pumping through your veins. I thought that was excellent. You know, really captures the attention of the audience. I thought his, you know, like I said, this is the 9th speech, so he's really had to work on skills up to this point, and I thought he did a really good job, and that's all part of making that impression, and that's really important. Like the other speaker, her impression was using her experiences. I think this particular speech, his delivery was what really made a great impression. He spoke firmly, confidently, smiled. It included some pauses, and that all is part of persuading the audience.
Very good. And I was totally impressed by his hand gestures also. I like the way he was so enthusiastic about explaining the breakfast and saying breakfast is food for your stomach, but more important is the food for the mind. I like the way he just transitioned across from one to one. That was pretty nice too.
Very clever speech, was it?
I liked it. I liked it. And yes, he did get my attention when he started describing all the breakfast things, of course. That was very good. And yes, he's finished 9 speeches by now, so he's almost there to get his CC, Competent Communicator, completion, right? That's great. That's wonderful. We wish him well. Anyway, so that is completes our 2nd speech, so we'll have to take another short break. You're watching Toastmaster Time, and don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages.
Name an effective political leader in history who couldn't speak well.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
There aren't any.
Because when it comes to a disease,
Freedom requires leadership, and leadership requires oratory. You have to speak to be heard.
I have a dream.
It's all about personal growth and guts.
Never give in. Never, never, never.
Welcome back to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everyone talking. So we had 2 lovely speeches today, and they were both persuasion with power and inspiring speeches, Karen. I really enjoyed both the speeches. What do you think overall?
It was great because we got to see 2 totally different styles, for one.
Yes.
And their objectives were a little bit different. It's like Nicole was trying to persuade the audience and inspire them to take on what she's trying to do, what she's achieved through Toastmasters.
Absolutely. And also, both the topics are related to persuasion, so we had a overdose of persuasion and inspiration today. I really enjoyed it. And they were contrasting in 2 different things. One was an advanced speech, number 3. Other one was CC speech, number 9. And they're 2 different levels, and they were really good. The quality was very good today. And another thing which was surprising is I came to know that there are about 250,000 members, over 250,000 members all across the world in over 90 countries of Toastmasters International. That is something which I found out was really amazing because I'm a member for the last just 2 years, and I didn't know that there's a huge family of Toastmasters membership available to us and a whole lot of resources available to us in the terms of number of manuals. That was something very mind-blowing.
Right. So you could be anywhere in the world and find a Toastmasters club.
Right.
And that's the nice thing. Even if you're visiting another country or another state, you can go and drop into a Toastmasters club. Because everybody, like you said, is very friendly and supportive. And
in many of the clubs, I really like the way they give feedback, just like the way you gave the feedback. You gave certain things, what you like about the speeches, and you also gave a couple of tips on what they can do to improve. Those things are absolutely useful and helpful for a person who is basically starting off giving the first or the second speeches. And that really basically pushes that person across to start doing their 10 speeches rapidly. Right. I like the community, the friendly set of members in our clubs. That's really helpful, and that really helps somebody to continue working on Toastmasters. I found it useful. How about you?
Yeah, I did too. And you know, as far as the speeches and the topics that we talk about, what inspired you to talk about some of the things that you've presented? I
identify with the first speaker, Nicole, who said that she loves humorous speeches. And for some reason, I also identify with that. I love humorous speeches because I have a feeling that humor can bring your point across much more effectively than a serious speech. I'm not undermining serious speeches, but you can smile, you can give some jokes and inspire somebody, or even say something totally different from what you want to. So I find humorous speeches really put your matter across too.
I think when you're relaxed, you're a lot more receptive to information that's coming, or you don't. And when it's funny, you don't even realize that. Oh, that you're learning something and taking something away from that particular speech.
Right. And of course, humor. The problem with humor is you got to be very careful. It's a very thin rope, right? I mean, you got to make sure that you don't offend anybody with your humor, yet try to put your matter across. So that was one of my topics, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people think, just to be clear, the humorous speech is not like a stand-up routine. There is a topic and a theme to that particular project.
Absolutely. Yes, that's true. And yes, the more important is what's the moral you're trying to put across, and what is the message you're trying to put across. That's very important while you bring in the humor, because that's the important crux of the whole speech, right?
And that's true with every single Toastmasters project.
Right.
What's the takeaway?
Yes, that's very good. Well, so then that is our show. We had two great speeches on inspiration and persuasion. Thank you for joining us at Toastmaster Time. We tape our show in the San Francisco Bay Area. If you'd like more information about the show, please visit our website at toastmastertime.com. Again, it's toastmastertime.com. And we are sponsored by Toastmaster District 57. And for local information, you can visit us at d57tm.org. If you want more information about the Toastmasters International, please visit our website at toastmasters.org. So we appreciate all the wonderful staff and volunteers at the Media Center here in Palo Alto, where we tape our show. Thank you very much for our guest speakers, Nicole Tran and Justin Mendez, and our evaluator, Karen Owoc. From all of us at Toastmaster Time, I am Venu Subramanium, and we invite you to join Toastmasters. And until then, keep talking and keep smiling. Thank you.